Well, hello and welcome back to another video. I happened to be watching a YouTube video that obviously, as I'm sure people know, that YouTube select videos that you might like to look at in referral what you've been posting or what you've been looking at previous. And an item came up. It was an ITV news report dated from the 19th of August, so not long ago. And I think this is only about 10 minutes. I'll put a link to this YouTube ITV news report that obviously had been cut out of a main news bulletin. But it was quite interesting, I thought. And it was on, as you've seen the titles of this video, it was referring to e-bikes and e-bike batteries and e-scooter and e-scooter batteries, and the vast increase in fires surrounding these batteries. There was a particularly nasty fire on the 12th floor in a block of flats in London that when the fire investigation team got in and got the fire under control, and luckily I think people were evacuated, and I think even some people got trapped, but nobody was injured in this fire. The fire was contained virtually to that one flat, which was amazing. So the fire brigade did a fantastic job of containing this fire, but it was proven that this fire was started by a e-bike being charged. And I thought this report was quite interesting. I don't want to alarm or worry people, because what I'm going to say first is I have had e-bikes since 1999. The first two I had, which gets us to about 2007, were the old power bikes with the 3 lead acid cells along the kind of frame. Very heavy bike, as I think I've said before in many videos. It weighed as much basically as a Puch Maxi moped of the 70s, but very, very, usable. I got about 20-25 miles fully charged, pedal assisted on that, and I was delighted. I commuted on that bike, and I had 2 of those. My only gripe with them is they were very Chinese made. They felt a bit all too quickly. In fact, the latter one I had, which was a nice black one, but terrible build quality. In fact, one of the braces or welds on the main frame just actually broke. And I had really looked after this bike, as you know if you watch some of my Volt videos on the Volt Pulses that I have now. But as I say, I've had e-bikes since 1999. I think it was around 2007, 2008, I had the first lithium powered bike. That was yet another power bike, that was, with a little like drinks bottle battery. And that's the only e-bike I've had that one day when I was charging that, the battery got very, very warm, and I felt the battery and I thought, oh my goodness. And obviously I took the charger off and I stood the bike outside and the battery cooled down, and much after that the battery was useless. It was basically life expired. I'd only had the bike about 14-15 months and I wasn't very happy. I wasn't very happy again with the build quality of the bike. There is a certain danger to lithium batteries, as I'm sure most of you are aware. Again, they can catch fire, they can almost explode. There's plenty of YouTube and other videos out there of people doing daft things like putting screwdrivers through them or shorting them out. But I want to say, since I've had, I had 2 Easy Forzas and I've had these 2 Volts since that time, and I have not had one issue whatsoever with the battery packs. In fact, this Volt Pulse had the same battery on it for 6 years, and it was still holding a charge and getting me 20, 30, 40 miles on that original battery after 6 years. But as I've explained, I think I'd always looked after it. So I've never had a problem with this, but I think obviously this can be a problem with these lithium batteries, this problem of, overheating, and then obviously the potential areas to catch fire, and if they're near, soft furnishings or anything like that in a house or in a garage, there is a great potential there, because I think once they get going, they really do burn, these batteries. And obviously, like this, there's a lot of plastic around the case. I don't suppose for one moment that's fireproof. But there were some interesting statistics which I've jotted down on the back of an envelope here, because I shall never remember these. And as I say, do have a look at this video and make your own mind up about it. This ITV report said that in 2020 there was 40 recognised, reported or later researched fires caused by e-bikes and e-bike batteries. There again, I think the majority were when they were being charged. In 2021, that jumped up to 105. And so far this year, there has been 203 related fires to e-scooters, e-bikes. So obviously you can see the number is increasing, but then as the report does say, e-bike sales have dramatically increased this last few years. So then I thought, what was Volt's take on this? I had my Volt handbook, and there's a section on your battery, maintenance and charging the battery, and in bold red type it does say it is recommended that the fire safety bag is always used when charging or storing your battery. Now I still have my Volt, actually. I don't know whether they still do, because this bike was bought in 2014 and my Volt Pulse X was bought in 2016, and I have both my battery bags still. Now whether Volt do supply you with a battery bag, I don't know, but the idea is this is a fire retardant bag. You put the battery in and charge it in the bag. Now I must be honest, I have never done that. That means obviously, although it's a quick release, it means turning the saddle around, unlocking the battery, pulling the battery out, putting it into the bag. I have always been careful when I charge an e-bike battery. It's charged in my workshop, which was formerly the garage there. For starters, I have a fully working smoke alarm directly over the charge area. I have a number of dry powder, foam and CO2 fire extinguishers at hand in there, because as you know I do vintage electronics as well. And my big point that I think is very important here is I never leave the bike unattended while I'm charging it. I will either, if I'm in the back garden, I will have the door open, and obviously then hopefully one would hear the smoke alarm go off, or more than likely I will be in there working and stay with it until it's charged up. Now that can take a long while, I appreciate. So as I say, that's hence why I've got the smoke alarm, and if I'm in the front or the back garden, I would hear, hopefully something was wrong, and if it started emitting smoke or overheating. That's the other thing I do occasionally while I'm charging it. I do feel the battery pack and make sure it's not getting hot or, even warm to the touch, because they shouldn't really when you're charging the battery. I think by all accounts on this ITV news report, which as I say, I think kind of dramatise the situation a little bit, but let's be honest. Lives could have been at risk in that flat and anywhere where there has been a fire regarding e-bikes and e-bikes charging. So I don't suppose you can really say it's over dramatising it, really, because it could be a danger, a great danger to life. But I think what they were saying was the problem is it isn't so much a good, reputable manufactured bike has been through much testing. The batteries are, like these Panasonic or a good manufactured battery that Volt have made for them, and most production bikes will be like that. A lot of the problems seems to be stemming from these add-on kits that you can get for ordinary bikes, and I've no doubt these come from China and they haven't had the rigorous testing. And I think when people go to charge those, then there's certain issues there that can, cause fires. It's like some of these iPad chargers and phone chargers from China that haven't been, that you can buy from Amazon or eBay, that haven't really been approved. There's certain dangers with those as well. I mean, theoretically, phones have lithium batteries, laptops have lithium batteries, and they are all to some point a fire risk when you charge them. I mean, there was a spate of a Samsung phone, I believe, a few years ago that was, or was it a Sony phone? I can't remember. There was one certain phone that was plagued by, batteries catching fire, which can be just as, a danger. Okay, that's a smaller volume battery, and so obviously, it can be dealt with probably a lot quicker. So yeah, any lithium battery, has a risk there. But I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this. It wouldn't certainly put me off buying an e-bike, as I've said before, because these two bikes have been the best bikes I've ever owned in my life. And, I've been, thousands of miles on this one. This is onto its second battery. It does bring me on to the case that, surely there again, e-bike manufacturers should be designing a totally 100% fire retardant case for these batteries to go in. Even on these conversion kits, I would hope that might, eventually come in, or who knows, down the line we might get better, safer batteries that don't have this risk in time. But while we are using these lithium cells, I think there is a note of caution there that must be, looked at and taken quite seriously, particularly when you're charging. Another point that was made on this news report was the fact that it's very important to always use the right charger for the battery and the controller that you've got on the bike. And I think that is, a very valid point. There again, Volt, if you buy a new battery, and I don't know whether this runs right for every model, but if you buy a new battery from Volt, they will supply you with a new proper right charger that is rated for that battery, and I think that is important. So there we go. I'd love to get your comments, what you think about this. Have you had issues with e-bike batteries on scooters or e-bikes? I've never had one get really hot or even smoke or catch fire, thank goodness. But I do know it is happening out there, and there we go. So it's a cautionary tale when you look at this video and see that it's something I think that we've got to be more careful about, definitely. So as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for all your wonderful comments. That's the great thing about YouTube. It gives you a platform to talk about these things and get other people's opinions and views, which I think is great. So thank you to everybody for your great comments and subscribing, and it does really help us if you comment and subscribe. It's brilliant, thank you. So that's all for this video. This was just an added little video that interested me when I saw this ITV news report. So until next time, my best wishes, and I'll catch up with you very soon with another video. Until then, bye for now.